Welcome back to West Texas View.
Before the break, we were talking about the widespread services that they have grown from just one person who needed the service and started it to now serving all over West Texas. But she also was talking about now it's grown into another service of an actual radio program that they have that's called the RLWT radio station. And it broadcasts all kinds of printed material from newspapers, magazines, books, and it's 24 hours a day. So I want us to talk a little bit more about that later, but I want us to talk about the kinds of equipment that they use to access your services.
Sure. Well, we're still fulfilling that original mission of the original tape lending library, although of course now we don't use tape anymore. So that's a huge program. We do custom work, and we can send audio on CDs to someone, or we've even emailed audio files because technology's made it so easy for us. And then when we do master recordings, we send them down to Austin, a master recording of a book. And Austin distributes those, and that's what this machine is. They sign, if you sign up for their program, this is free. They send you the player. And then you can order books that come on these little cassettes. And that program, like, you can call and ask for any, just say, send me 2 books a week. Or send me just this certain magazine every month. But they tailor it to your specific needs. And you could just say, send me Westerns. And they will just send Westerns to you. So those are full-length books. And what we saw was people could get books and magazines, but there was a gap in their life. They couldn't read the local newspaper. So that's this little radio that we distribute. If you have an internet connection, you can listen to our stream online, and you don't need the radio. But a lot of people don't have computers or smartphones, and these little radios are very economical, and we can get them to people. We send them in the mail. We also have an internet radio that we can give to people who live outside of Midland and Odessa. So we have a lot of listeners in Monahans and Fort Stockton who use the internet radios. The other program that we run that sort of goes with the radio station is called the telephone reader. So anything that's broadcast on the radio station, you can call a number and listen to that program. Say if you miss it when it first airs. So we have a lot of people who use that service. And for example, we have one lady who uses all of our programs. She listens to books, she listens to our radio station, but she's very active. So she likes to get out and with her friends. And so sometimes she misses when we broadcast the newspapers. And so she will call the telephone reader when she gets home and catch up on the news. And we read the obituaries. So it's very local.
Keeps them in the loop.
Yes, it's great access to information.
Well, one of the things that you said that I wanted you to expound on a little bit, you said we can make custom recordings. What does that mean? Like if I called you and said, I've just heard about a new book and I'd like
Sure. We try to find, in order to conserve the time of our volunteers, we try to find out if it's already been recorded somewhere else. If it has, we can download and get you a copy of it. If we can't find it anywhere, and a good example of this is we had a gentleman who really likes Elvis, and he had found a book that he really wanted to read, and so he actually sent us the print copy, and we recorded the book about Elvis and then sent it to him on some just regular audio CDs.
And then you sent that recording to Austin so they'd have it in their master files?
Yes.
Okay.
So anybody can listen to it that's a part of that program.
So that's the reason they have such a huge library in the Austin.
There's 22,000 Texans who currently use the Texas Talking Book program. That's a lot of Texans. And so they can get any kind of book they want. And hopefully now they can get an Elvis book.
So what I'm hearing from you is that it's really an inexpensive answer to a really big problem.
Technology is really, really helpful now that we don't have to use big professional recording studios and reel-to-reel tapes. we can record stuff and it sounds great. And the quality is fantastic, and the turnaround is so much quicker. It's a much easier process than it used to be.
But do you, when you are recording a book, do you record a condensed version, or do you record the whole book?
We record the whole book, and that's not that's a time-consuming process. Usually on a book, a novel or something like that, we only have that one person read that book.
Right.
And like when we read textbooks, everybody will take a chapter. We'll have lots of different people trying to read so we can get it done quickly. But a book for the state library is one volunteer, and that takes about 3 to 6 months for them to record an average size book.
So the Elvis book, he said, "I'm sending you my copy, and I want this on I want this recorded." Was it a thick book or a thin book?
I think it was, maybe 300-400 page book. It
Oh,
was
wow.
everything about Elvis. So he really enjoyed it, and we know there's other people who would enjoy that too. So that's why we make it available.
So you really, really encourage people to give you ideas for books or magazines.
And we have people who call the time and say, "Well, I have a book that I want to donate to you." And I'm like, if we haven't had a request for someone to read it, we're not going to record it until it's requested.
Yeah, because you've got plenty more.
Yes.
We're going to talk about volunteers and the readers and everything in our last segment, but I want you to talk a little bit about how people access you.
Sure.
Do they call?
Well, that's why programs like this are really important. I'm tired of being the best kept secret in West Texas. If they need services or they want to know more about any of our programs, they just call us. And we do, most of the people who are using our services have a limit on their ability to get around town. So we do a lot through the mail and over the phone. And they can call us, or they can go to our website. You could go to our website.
Which both are rolling across the screen. So
anybody can go to our website and hear us. There's a little button on the right-hand side of the screen that says listen. And when you click on it, you'll be listening to our radio station.
Good. And then, but we want to encourage people who have loved ones in their families or neighbors and friends that really need your service. Maybe they're declining in their eyesight and they need to get used to this before they
That's always a good idea, because it is sort of learning a new way to read.
Yes.
And the more experience you have with that, the better.
Before you're completely dependent. We're going to have to take a break right now. We'll be back in just a minute and continue this conversation, or rather finish this conversation. It has been so much fun to have Trish Speight here to talk about all the things that we need to know about the Recording Library of West Texas. See you in just a minute.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.